me again in this country. In each day that passes, something must happen. So what happened today? Donu Kobara, an international journalist, a woman, went to Arise TV and called Mr. Peter Obi a failure. She called Mr. Peter Obi a disappointment. She said that Peter Obi went from top to the bottom. She said that Peter Obi was once a shining light that could lead the opposition. But right now, that Peter Obi is not the leader that the opposition needs. She even said that what she's saying is what almost all obedience, both ex and present obedience, are saying. I wonder who told her good. The guy is doing good. Before 2023, nobody believed he could pull the millions of votes that he got, notwithstanding the rigging machineries that the young man faced. Do you know the amount of threats that this man is getting on a daily basis? Do you know the scrutinies that the guy is getting? Just because Peter Obi is a quiet guy does not mean that he's a weak guy. No weak guy gets to that level of politics. The young man that you are calling a disappointment on national TV was once a governor in Anambra State. Anambra State politics is a hot politics. The guy scaled through, completed his 8 years without a godfather. He is not weak, he is a leader. That someone has decided to follow the principles, the morals in doing something doesn't make him weak. All this while Nigeria has been voting for the strongman type. What have you achieved? What have we achieved in this country with all this strongman leadership? Buhari is a strongman. He has that strongman vibes. What have we achieved? All his moves are calculated. And then again, this is Nigeria. This is Nigeria. So enough with the insults. Enough with the insults. Thank you.
Now, recently, you might have heard a lot of criticism leveled against the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi. In fact, on this program, just a couple of days ago, one of our guests suggested that she had become depressed by the crisis in the Labour Party, but more so, she said, profoundly more so by Peter Obi himself, someone she described as a once sparkling, inspirational figure who created a movement almost overnight, galvanizing the youth, the intellectuals, and other principled people, but who had now turned from a firework into what she called a damp squib. To her, he had become, in her words, rather pedestrian, making what she called anodyne public statements and periodically donating boreholes in remote parts of the country. Well, expectedly, there have been lots of reactions from many of Mr. Obi's supporters whose passion and zeal for him appear to be undiminished. One of them is Ibrahim Abdul Karim. He's from the northwest state of Sokoto and is the Director General of the Big Tent, a coalition uniting political parties, social movements, civil society organizations, and candidate support groups, the so-called...
Good to see you, Mr. Charles.
And metaphorically speaking, or perhaps physically speaking, you would need a big tent, wouldn't you? Because you're quite a tall bloke.
Out of school, why not bring the school to them? And he pledged and he donated money. And we went back again for him to supervise the money that he have sent. That's the leadership we're talking about. Not just somebody that will sit in the villa or sit in the government house and keep on watching. And most of these works that we have done, for example, we went to Kebbi with him. We went to commission a borehole. I think we take almost more than 15 kilometers into the bush. And we met the Fulani, the same Fulani that people are now talking about, and she was saying that you see them, the Fulani, full Fulani village, and we took him there. And he He interacted with them. He commissioned a borehole with them, and their leaders was there. They saw him. This is an Igbo man from the southeast that wants to be president. So what we've been doing in 2004 to 2024 is right to pick him and go to those people that need to see him. And we went to Emirates, going to Emirates, and we went to other Emirate councils. Why are we doing that? And then apart from that, we're doing third-party engagement, and we're taking him to some politicians that we know, irrespective of their parties, to sit down and talk to him. He's from commerce, he's from the bank, he's from the commerce sector. Is somebody that knows value. Every day we are talking with him, he look at the size, he gives comparison with agriculture, how he will build the northern block for us to get what we are getting. If it's Peter Obi as a president today, we will not be arguing about this tax bill, because the North is going to be producing all what it will be producing, and things are going to be captured. And it's a person, because he has that knowledge of coming from back, he is very good in talking numbers. So he liked to see things, not just somebody just flying numbers, but he liked to call numbers as accurate. So that's why he's moving around. He's been in Kogi, and you know he traveled by the road. As you can see the incident, it was on the internet when he saw a truck drivers block road. But he just came down and talked to them. They opened the gate and people move. We went from Kano to Jigawa with him some few days, a few months ago. And then when we are going on the road, we have seen the one lane of the road is being abandoned. The other one is being used, and then there is a lot of potholes and uncompleted part of it. And then we are now discussing, okay, instead of us to take away 16 trillion and build a new coastal road somewhere, while we have just Kano to Jigawa, which a lot of workers stay in Kano and work in Jigawa, that need that road to be flying around that road. So he's not just moving around as the way she uses the pedestrian. No, he is trying to take in the observation of what is happening. Let me give you an example. We had Buhari as a president. We're having Ahmed Bola Tinubu as president. And you can see the other contestant of have you, Mr. Charles, ever seen any one of them on a journey of 200 kilometers, like, for example, coming from Kaduna to Kano on the road? They are not. They are always on their private jet. That's why when they come, they don't have the first-hand information about what to do with the situation. But what he's doing to schools, School of Nonsense, where we see me every week going, check his Twitter handle. Every week he's going around, and he's now talking to Nigerians, looking at the education, because if you want to change the system, the education is the first thing you're supposed to look after. Because those young Almajiri that you're seeing on the street, they are the ones that are going to be the vanguard of the politics, they will call them NCSA, in years to come. They are going to replace me on this seat. What type of young people are we going to create in the North? Who are going to talk on the behalf of the North? Who are going to be in the offices for a system to work? So, but he believes. Come on, one thing I really appreciate about him was that on our way going around all these things, we met some of our friends, and then we met some people that will come and greet him. They have a conversation, maybe in the aeroplane or in the car when we are doing. And once he now understands that young person has something on him, he can explain issues of electricity, issue of tariff, or anything, communication, and things like that. He always asks me, Brian, what's the name of that person? I will give him the name. We keep the name. We remember the name. So that when building governance is not easy. It has to come through a system. And he can't govern with the people that he governed Anambra State with them. He's going to govern with people. He needs ministers in all the 37 states, yes, including Abuja. Well, so he needs to use this 2024 and 2025 to do some legwork, as we said in politics, because politics is something that can be. That's why, Charles, I used to get very worried when I hear people talking about who will become vice president, who will become president. This is not the time. The time now is for him to get people to know him,
Right.
to get
well,
engaged.
I mean, her point is that this is the same guy, certainly from her perspective.
Yes.
And obviously, one of the points you're making is that it's important to go around canvassing with people, talking to people, and so on. And she is a person, and a significant person. And her point is that
if they're taken off, what she is saying, you look at the context of Nigeria, when you bring the time of apartheid, type of during the days of Mandela, people that are thrown into jail and that. But look at what we have today. People are seeing semblance of state capture. Then press, we just finished the interview now with somebody discussing about the issue of the press and understand. This is the person that is now uniting us from the south to the north, young people all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria, thinking about how we are going to wrestle and take over this country, because we know we've been late in 2003, but we are given a more chance and more given time to do. If now, for example, something happened, 2023. Yeah. So if something happened to him now, he is the leader, he is the one inspiring us and talking to us and telling us what to do. If we have the kind of government that we have with the APC people and how they take politics and they do or die affair they want to do. And if he's been eliminated now because of maybe the confrontation that we wanted to do, or all of us have been thrown into jail and things like that, what will happen to us? Today you see him, he's in the court trying to what? To take care of Dele Farotimi. Tomorrow is going to be me. Next tomorrow is going to be another journalist. So
you're saying he needs to be free.
We need us. We need him.
Yeah.
What the mistake they will do, how they will do, not him creating the problem to himself. At least we are doing what we are doing. We are putting off our offices. We're conversing. Young people are talking. We're organizing. We can't come here because somebody wants to see us on the street fighting for us to now give out all our strategies.
Yes,
and what
I understand that. I have to move on because time is against us. I do recall, though, because you mentioned the APC there, yes. I recall that in 2015 you were almost as passionate as you are now, a fervent supporter of Muhammadu Buhari and the APC. I mean, what happened to turn you away from them towards Peter Obi in preference? In preference,
because cost of government, because I just finished reading what's happened in Argentina. And then I have seen what a president can do if he wants to change the country. I have seen what happened in Indonesia.
That's Javier
Milei. So the most important is the head. Everybody knows that with Peter Obi, even Deji was saying that at least he will vote for Peter Obi because he will not buy a new private jet. Everybody have seen him traveling from one place to another. Even in an economy. The reason is why everybody knows, us that we work with him, the people that goes close to him know that there is going to be a reduction in the cost of government. Not somebody that is going to buy a new Jeep, not somebody that is going to pump money to build a new house for himself, a new house for his own vice president. So that's the first thing that I have seen. Number two, he's trying to...
So fiscal prudence.
Yes, yeah. And also we are trying to actualize our own aspiration through him, because we don't have his capacity. We can't be him, you understand? So, but we can be around him. The young people that are coming around him, what we are trying to do that we have not done in the APC is that now we are going to set up system that will now checkmate us when we become, because once we promise people and we tell them what we are going to do, we are going to have a process that will make sure that at least those things have been, nobody will take him over and nobody cage him, because we want somebody that can move around. The first thing I love so much about Mr. Peter Obi is his movement. The way you see him maybe in a day in 3 or 4 different states. That's what the leadership is supposed to be. Because he's coming from commerce, he's coming from banking. That's the most interesting part of it. Because